Welcome back to the Simply Smarter podcast. I'm your host, Jill, and this is Caleb.
Hey, everybody. How are you today?
We are doing great over here. We are excited because we're going to do things a little bit different today on our podcast. Do you want to know what?
I do. I think they want to know, too.
Okay, I agree. So we aren't going to necessarily talk about really any of our students or the ACT in particular, which we normally do.
Yeah.
Today, we're going to talk about the history of Get Smarter Prep.
Oh, man.
Because...
Yeah, why? Why would we do that, Jill?
It's our 15th anniversary.
It's pretty awesome, right?
It's so awesome.
We basically, the organization is old enough to start preparing for the ACT, basically.
Yes.
It's kind of cool, right?
That's an excellent way of putting it.
Man, 15 years
So
is a long
cool.
time.
It is. It is a really long time.
We've had quite a journey.
Yes, we have.
A lot has gone on.
A lot. Yeah.
We'll get into some of it today.
Especially this past year.
Oh, man.
That was just...
A lot / not a lot.
Yeah.
I never know how to explain the last year.
Yeah.
Like it felt like there was a lot that happened, but also nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
Huh.
That's a good point. That's a good way of putting it. And I was telling Caleb this morning that some of my memories or my stories were popping up on my Facebook. And it's interesting because just just our attitudes from last year and just the memories and like that state that you were in was just kind of gloom and doom. And you just didn't know what was happening, what was going to go on. We were on lockdown here in Kansas.
Yeah, we're in the midst of the 15 days to slow the curve.
Yep. Yeah. So it was just a lot. It was a lot to figure out, a lot to process. And a year from now, a year from then, it's now and it's so much better. And there's a lot more hope than there was last year. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So
the rollouts of the vaccines and everything else, it's been good.
Yeah, it's been wonderful. So cheers to 2021. Let's clink our
Here we go.
Coffee glasses. Yep. Clink.
Little insider baseball. That was one coffee and one pen.
They didn't know.
I know.
It could have been my coffee cup.
I wanted to be honest.
Just kidding. My coffee's obviously already gone.
It's gone, right?
3 kids at home. It's gone by 10 o'clock, okay? Let's be honest. All right. Well, let's dive in to the history of Get Smarter Prep. I'm really excited about this, actually. Yeah. Okay. So it started in 2004.
I know.
2004.
We don't even remember how to say 2004
I
anymore.
know. I'm like 2004. No. You can say it that way.
Could.
It's weird.
Nobody did.
I know. 2004.
Yeah.
So the founder of Get Smarter Prep is actually Steven Heiner.
A little shout out to you, Steven.
Hey. He started tutoring in Southern California. And he taught test prep part-time, loved it so much, he wanted to do it full-time. And then from there, he recruited from among the best he knew, and then took a weekend retreat with several other colleagues and talked about aspects they liked from some of those big box companies, who we're talking about, and things they didn't like. And they came up with their own small group focused firm. The goal was to teach fewer students per class, which would really turn into a more personal attention and higher score increases.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I kind of love this because that's still who we are.
Exactly.
We've made some changes along the way. Mm-hmm. We've grown. We've changed, right? Yep. But we're still hyper focused on the student and the individual and making sure we're targeting exactly what they need to do their best. Yeah. So I love this.
That's what it should be, right?
I like going back and thinking about things from, oh my gosh, that was 17 years ago, technically.
Yeah. Well, true. So Steven did that for a couple years, and then in 2006, he was doing some research on good old Kansas City, looking at some of the demographics and schools, decided to leave sunny California and move to KC, Kansas City. In July 2006... I'm just gonna go for that. Okay. I'm just gonna say
lean into it.
2008, 2006.
Hey, do you remember? It was probably a year ago on a podcast. I said y'all. Right? And I was like, you know what? Why don't I use that more often? I use that every day, don't I?
I'm gonna make yes. I
do use it a lot.
Sadly, yes. No, I'm just kidding. I actually really love the Southern accent. It's one of my favorites.
Anyway, sorry.
Anyway.
You were saying?
Yeah, in July 2006.
2006.
Get Smarter Prep opened its doors in, drumroll,
Overland Park.
OP.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy to think about. The original was an OP.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were an OP for quite a while, right? We kind of bounced around from office to office wherever we could get a good deal and all of that. And we ended up, when I came along, we were still in Overland Park.
Yeah.
Back in 2011, 2012. And we were kind of growing like crazy in that time frame. And so
three different office spaces in 2011. So from 2006 to 2011, three different spaces.
We bounced around.
As they continued to grow.
From kind of northern Overland Park, kind of near kind of Metcalf and Antioch, that kind of area. Kind of bounced around a bit. And then we kind of found a spot on 87th Street in Overland Park. And we kind of kept growing. We had one office, and then we had two offices, and then we had a third office right there in that shopping center.
Crazy. And how big were the offices? Like 2 or 3 offices within the building?
The main kind of staff office in probably 2011, there were probably about 4 or 5 classrooms in that space.
Decent, yeah.
Yeah. And then as we kind of grew, there was another office just a couple doors down that had maybe another 3 classrooms.
Yep, we'll take it.
And then we moved to the front side of the building, kind of that frontage to 87th Street, right? That
big time.
Right. And that one we had a couple more classrooms and a lot more kind of office space and a good big testing center too.
Yeah.
At that point.
Oh, so exciting.
I know.
So many good things.
It was just a big transition time for us, and that we grew so much in that 2006 to 2011 time frame that just kind of the mission and the vision that Steven brought and the team that he had at the time, it just kind of kept us moving in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they eventually led here, but I'm jumping ahead of myself.
And guess what else happened in 2011?
What else happened in 2011?
Audrey and Zach were hired.
Which Zach?
Zach Buckner.
Yeah, Zach Buckner.
Again.
Yeah, so, right. So Audrey and Zach were both hired in 2011 and started their training in the beginning of 2012. So
wow. It's a long time ago.
I know.
They've been with us for a really long time.
Long time.
No wonder they're so amazing.
So true.
Seriously.
They both teach at Mission.
Yes.
Right, just for the record.
Yep, our Mission location.
And then I joined shortly after in January of 2012.
What?
And I was not in my current position. I was director of course services.
Okay, tell me about that.
So it kind of mimics a little bit of our scheduling coordinator role now, where I worked a lot with parents and students to figure out like what's a good game plan for you.
Yep.
So I did a lot of the scheduling, but I also kind of was involved with info sessions and things like that too.
Yeah. So you did all of it. You've literally started from the beginning and worked your way up.
All of it.
Boom, president, done. But at the time, Steven still owned the business, and then Mike Walrod from Wally Ventures bought Get Smarter Prep from Steven.
That was October 1st of 2012. Just prior to that, though, it was probably June 1st or somewhere around that time frame. Lyndon Schultz actually became president.
Yes.
To kind of, as part of the sale, to show that the organization was viable outside of just Steven, right?
Yep. And how long had she worked for the company?
And she'd been with Get Smarter Prep for, I believe it was about 1.5 or 2 years at that point.
Yeah, so she knew the ins and outs.
She knew what was going on. She had been director of operations and in that role for a bit, and tutoring for quite a while.
Yeah, it was a good move for her. Yeah, that's awesome. That was great. That's awesome. And then 2014, so things were going really well. And then 2014, Boomer and Claire started training.
2 more of our current tutors.
Yes, and they're also in Mission.
They are at Mission. We've got a trend going here.
Yeah. So good.
And I remember that training group. There was one other guy in that group with them. And it was just a really fun teacher training.
I love that you remember all these Boomer, things. You're like a little historian.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know that 2006 stuff quite as well.
That's okay.
But I do know most of our current tutors.
Yeah.
And their stories. And
we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah,
we're going to do a little recap of some of the tutors that we've had and their successes and where they are now. And it's really great, actually.
It's kind of cool.
I'm excited to talk about it.
I miss having most of them or all of them. But guess what? They've moved on to some really great things.
Yeah, they have. They really have. 2015 was a big year. Caleb, you became president, and we got a new office in Leawood, where we are now.
That was big. We kind of tested out some smaller offices, kind of office share kind of things here in Leawood, just actually kind of across the street from where we are now. Mm-hmm. And we realized it was a good market. We knew that there were students that we could help here. And we landed here. And it's right next to Starbucks. That was really the selling point. That's why you chose it. Come on. Let's be honest. That's why. Just kidding. 2016, Abby and Austin started training. Yeah. They did training kind of in that June, July timeframe. Yep. And Austin is in Leawood and Abby is at Mission. Yep. And during that, just before that, in March, we moved into our new office in Mission. Yes. Which is kind of awesome. So March is like a big celebration for us. It's our 15th anniversary. We moved into our Leawood office. Yeah. In March. We moved into our Mission office in March. Lots of really exciting changes. I don't think I put it together. What an important month for us. It is. And I just feel like, it's beginning of spring. It's beginning of new hopeful things. And I like March. March is good. Yeah. It's fresh. And fresh start. Yeah, weather's turning around. Yeah. Things start turning green. Yeah. That's my favorite part about March. Oh, yeah. So pretty. 2017 is when I started as a marketing director. So that was fun. I love working here and working with Caleb and meeting all the, the tutors from years ago and the new hires and just the students, being able to meet the students as well. I don't get to meet them a whole lot since I'm on the marketing side, but the ones that I do get to meet, I'm always so excited to meet them. Well, you've taken over photo shoots and things like that. Yes. So that's a fun way to connect with students. I love the photo shoots. They're so fun. Yeah. So all the photos that you see on the website or anything else, those are actually Get Smarter Prep students. Yes. So some people are like, those are stock photos, right? No way. Nope. No. Those are some of our kiddos. Yeah, and if you look around, they're all KC locations. Right. KC Metro locations. So very true. Yeah. It's really, I love that about us. 2017, also, Ashley started training. She's here in our Leawood office. She's an excellent tutor. Yeah, and she came through with a good group, too. It was interesting because there were, again, all sorts of different personalities, right? Mm-hmm. But Ashley's a little bit quieter. Mm-hmm. And some of the other people were just much more boisterous. Yeah. and it was fun to kind of balance and kind of get the different perspectives and kind of learn about them so that we can make sure that we match tutors to students as well as we can too. Yeah, absolutely. I like that. Michelle started training in 2019. She's here in our Leawood office too. Right. Yep. Michelle had just finished school and she went to the University of Pennsylvania. Wow. And she was looking for something and it was a really good fit. We really like Michelle. Yeah. And she just brings, again, a little bit of a fun youthfulness to the office and kind of a different perspective for her students. And she's been great. Amazing. Well, let's talk about some of our partnerships because we've done some partnerships between up to that point, 2019, right? So we have also partnered with Team Cura. Yeah. They've been on the podcast, before with Rob Huey, and they're doing some great things. Yeah. What's their focus? Yeah. So they are focused on kind of the sports aspect for students, some of those student athletes, and making sure they have the life skills that they need. It's pretty cool. A little bit foreign to maybe our age that, you obviously you have to get up and shake someone's hand. Right. But students nowadays may not know that. Yeah. Some of those really simple life skills. Obviously, it's more in depth, but they do those little snackable content videos that are so cute. 2 or 3 minutes of a video. Watch this, and they learn some life skills and move on from there. So really, really great organization over there. For sure, and they do some cool things with not only high school kids but also colleges. And they partnered with the NAIA and several hundred schools as a part of that. So pretty neat. Yeah.
Love them over there. Blue Valley Educational Foundation. We've worked with them. We've sent out some emails through them and
connected and supported students here in the Metro.
Yep.
That's been a good thing. They do some cool things, especially with technology and things like that through the foundation there. So
ever-changing technology. Got to always stay up to date on that because you're
it is
basically always behind if you don't.
Right. And even if you stay on top of it, you're probably still behind somehow.
I know. It's right. True self-counseling. Molly,
yes.
our good friend Molly.
She has been a good resource for a lot of our students, especially those with kind of maybe the more extreme side of the testing anxiety, and just kind of learning some coping mechanisms and learning how to deal with that on test day. Yeah, I think she's been very useful and helpful for a lot of our students in that way.
Absolutely. Yeah. Especially, the past year with, so much anxiety all the time.
Just in general, right?
I was with some family the other day, and one of them was saying, I was outside of my house for 4 hours and I started having anxiety because, they work from home.
Right.
And so I was like, I can only do about 4 hours and then I have to go home because it just feels so weird. And I kind of start getting anxious, and that's just, what the world has done this past year. So
for sure.
Yeah, just working through some of those pieces, and Molly's a great resource to have with us as well.
Yep. We've also partnered with a lot of schools and educational organizations throughout the Metro and throughout the region even, like KU Gear Up and TRIO through the KCK school district. Yeah. We've worked with Hogan Prep and had some offerings there. Alta Vista, we've worked with the counselors there to do a few things. There have been other organizations that we've worked with that we actually get to go into. What was it, 2 years ago before COVID? We worked with probably about, I think it was 14 or 15 schools. Some of them were in the Kansas City metro area, and some of them were more rural too.
Yeah.
I know we were down in Cape Girardeau and down kind of near Springfield.
Did you
Missouri.
Go to Lambert's?
No. Home of the Throwed Rolls.
Yeah.
The Throwed Roll.
Throwed Rolls.
Oh, get that right.
Throwed Rolls.
I haven't been there in probably close to 20 years.
Yeah, same.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been forever.
I know when you used to go.
When?
NAIA basketball tournaments.
Actually, no.
No?
You're wrong. It was, this is like going way back actually. So JT, my husband, his grandparents used to live in Cape Girardeau. And yes, we went there and visited them. And obviously Lambert was like a 20-minute drive and you had to go.
Oh, I didn't know there was one on that side of the state.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Yeah. And so we went, and this is really sad. I shouldn't be laughing. They threw a roll and it actually hit JT's grandma in the face. How
sad,
awful is
but
that?
Also maybe was she okay?
Yes,
it was a roll.
Of course, it was a softball.
Okay, then it is a little funny.
She laughed. No, she laughed.
She did.
That's why
good.
It was like, oh, grandma. Oh,
grandma.
Oh, what's happening? Oh no.
Rolls flying everywhere.
Yeah.
What a weird experience.
I know.
I don't think we could do that right now.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Huh. I know. Anyway, that's mine.
That was a very good side note.
I know. Yeah.
I like it.
Interesting. Yeah. There's another one, Boys Hope.
Boys Hope, Girls Hope, KC.
Yeah. So just really great organizations that we've had, the honor of working with. And
one of our newest partners, we actually had him on the podcast. If you haven't listened to that podcast, go back an episode or two and listen to that podcast.
Yes.
The guys from The Future of Us are just fantastic.
Yep.
And
that was just last year.
Yeah.
Seems like it was just a few months ago, which, it was towards the end of 2020, but yeah. Yeah. So another great partnership. Love those guys. Yeah. What else happened in 2020? Well, before we get into what actually happened in 2020, Rachel and Ellie started training as well.
Yeah.
So they were here in the Leawood office.
And Rachel is one of our standard level tutors, but she is also our scheduling coordinator. So if you reach out to Get Smarter Prep, you'll probably have contact with Rachel. And
yes,
she is
the pleasure of talking with her. Absolutely.
And And then Allie is teaching remotely. She transferred to Colorado State.
Yes.
This semester and is doing something different, but she's still available online.
I love that. I'm so glad that she's still available online too. She's such a good tutor. Awesome. Well, 2020, obviously, the pandemic hit for us anyway.
Changed everything for everyone.
Yes, 100%. All students went virtual. What, end of March.
All the way into May.
Yeah.
The April test got canceled for the ACT. The May and June test for the SAT got canceled.
Yep.
And then it was like by test site.
Yeah.
So we were
hit or miss.
We were scrambling like crazy.
Yeah.
In late May, early June to try to find reliable test sites for our students.
That's a good way of putting it.
And it was hit or miss.
Yeah, it was. And some canceled the day before the test, which was really unfortunate.
Yeah, we had a student who was actually taking it in North Carolina. Do you remember this?
Yes.
And he showed up to the test site on test day morning, and they had canceled it 20 minutes before they were supposed to walk inside. So.
Just wrong.
That's awful.
It really is.
So we've all been through a lot.
Yeah.
And the testing landscape looks very different.
It does.
And again, we just want to try to serve our students as the best of our ability. And we know that some schools are requiring ACT for class of 2021. A lot are not. But 2022, what does that look like? For 2023, we're still in this like
unknown.
Wait.
Yeah, there's still a lot
tough.
of unknown. Yeah, there really is. There really is. But yeah, I mean, even on a scholarship level, that's the ACT is still going to be an important piece for that as well. So
true. Very, very true.
Yeah. And we do still do virtual for those that are still not comfortable, or it's just, sometimes more convenient if they if they don't have a car or if they don't have that transportation to get to one of our physical locations. We can still do that. Obviously we offer in person as well. So we just want to keep that open to all students.
Along the way, even back in maybe the end of May and into June, we offered all of the options to families. They got to choose what made sense for them. And for our tutors, we wanted to make sure that we were protecting them along the way too. But a lot of our families chose to be back in person just for some social interaction and getting engaged and just kind of that motivation and that teamwork. Sometimes that in person can be a little bit better in that way.
Yeah,
just so you get to know each other a little bit better.
I agree.
So we had all that. We had at-home testing for a long while.
Yeah.
We've put that on pause for now. Hopefully it's permanently on pause.
Yes.
But we'll see.
Yeah.
But we've kind of tried to find out new and different ways that we can help our students. So.
Yeah, 100%. And then 2021.
Here we are.
Zach Klein started training, our newest tutor. So, I haven't been able to meet him yet. He's at our mission location.
He is at our mission office. Yeah. He's a great guy. He has an interesting background with engineering and an MBA.
Yeah.
And he actually works for an organization that they do some contracting with NASA.
Wow.
So kind of cool stuff that he's doing.
Yeah, it is.
If you have him as a tutor, ask him some questions because I'm sure he has some really cool stories.
I bet he does.
He's also really into golf, so when we get together, I ask him for pointers.
Yeah, pointers. That's so funny. Can you help me on my backswing, please?
Right. I need all the help I can get.
Oh, that's so funny. And then here we are again, 2021. We're just happy to make it through a pandemic and keep on going and be here for 15 years, right?
I know.
15 to 16 to 17.
Pushing forward.
Yeah. So, we do have some new things that we're going to be rolling out probably midsummer to the fall, which we can't really mention at the moment, but
still a little bit in the works.
Yeah, we are definitely working on it, and we think it's going to be a really good fit for a lot of students. So let's just say it that way.
For sure.
So very excited about that.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Should we get into the where are they now segment?
Where are they now?
I'm actually excited about this.
Okay, me too.
So all of these people were actually tutors for us at one point or another. And we have dozens that we could talk about, right?
Yeah.
Over the 15 years.
Right.
Because we've been very lucky to work with amazing individuals who are just brilliant.
Yep.
And brilliant in lots of different ways.
Yes.
And
that's a good point.
A lot of people ask me about our tutors and like, so how do you work with them? Are they all educators? We've had a few that are educators.
But most aren't.
Most are not. They're coming from all sorts of different backgrounds, from microbiology to anthropology to whatever it may
Law
be.
school. Yeah.
Right? And there's one thing that always ties us together is that we want to see students succeed. We want to help them in any way that we can. So it's been fun in that way.
Let's talk about...
I'm gonna bring up a couple. One?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yes.
So the one that I keep seeing some really cool stuff on social media is Trisha. And Trisha lives in St. Louis, the St. Louis area. And she has been an attorney in family law for quite a while now. And she tutored with us. She interned at Safe Home here in the Kansas City metro area. She taught with us. She taught LSAT even over at UMKC. And she is actually going for not governorship. She's going for a judgeship. Maybe that would be the next step, right?
Who knows?
So she's kind of going through that process right now. So if you live in the St. Louis area, here's my endorsement of Trisha. She is brilliant and kind and wonderful. And
I love that.
Will serve awesome. People very, very well. So I'm excited for her.
Who knows? You could know and judge.
I know.
That's amazing.
I know. That's kind of cool, right? Another one that I always want to brag on is our past president, right? Lyndon. Lyndon is, again, amazing and brilliant in her own right. She ended up getting an MBA after she left Get Smarter Prep at University of Virginia.
And where does she work now?
And again, I actually haven't talked to her for a little while.
Amazing, guys.
But she's a contractor and works for the FBI.
What?
Isn't that kind of cool?
It's amazing, actually.
I know.
It's so cool.
So fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine what that all looks like.
I know.
Very neat.
Good for her.
And then we have some people like Carl, who went to Harvard Law after he left us.
Nice, Carl.
And I know he's graduated and doing some cool things throughout. I think he is actually back in Kansas City last I heard.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
Good for him.
And then again, some of our tutors were in school going through the process, and like Carrie
tutoring,
and Bill and Alex. So Carrie and Bill were in law school and coming through here and helping our students. And then you had somebody like Alex, who was actually a PhD candidate for microbiology as he was coming through. So some of our tutors are balancing a lot of different things.
Yeah, they are.
It's been kind of fun.
Kind of all different backgrounds.
And then we have our med school contingency, right?
There we go.
They usually, once they get into med school, they're not with us anymore.
They don't really
move on.
Yeah, they all of their focus is on med school.
But Sarah and Joe and Brian and a number of others, they all have moved on to med school. Some of them have already graduated, but it's been fun to see that too.
Yeah, no kidding. I love that.
And then, so if you had an opportunity to know Jana, did you know Jana?
I met her, yes, I think maybe just a couple of times.
Yeah, she was probably in her last test when you were coming on board.
Yes.
But Jana,
very sweet.
Is incredibly sweet, very genuine, and she moved to Chile. Or Chile.
What is she doing
And she's been down there for quite a while. She was teaching English, and I think she was going to school a little bit. But now she has her own business, and
teaching
she's kind
English?
of doing her own thing. I think so.
Awesome.
And she's just been living in South America for the last 3 or 4 years.
Very adventurous.
Very cool.
What a go-getter.
I just think that it's just so different.
Yeah.
That's kind of us.
Yeah.
We're all kind of different and have our own interests, and
so cool.
It's kind of fun.
Where are they now? Now you know.
There it is.
And who knows?
A snippet, anyway.
You know, and we have had some of our past students become tutors.
Cole and Emma.
Yeah.
Right off the top of my head.
Yeah. So really cool.
And it's kind of fun. So Cole was one of our tutors for a while, and he works at Garmin.
Mm-hmm.
And his tutor was Gina. And Gina has had a couple stints with us, and she had been around since 2008.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fun. Like, she was kind of like Mama Bird, like putting Cole, the tutor, under her wing since she had worked with them years before.
Yeah. So. Oh my gosh.
It's fun.
Things all come around, right?
They really do.
Well, what an exciting 15 years for Get Smarter Prep. I'm happy to be here and just to see some of the changes. I'm just so excited for the next 15 years to see what that looks like. And
there's going to be shifts and changes.
Yes, of course, there has to be. And that's always a good thing as well. So here's to another 15 years, and congrats to Get Smarter Prep on the last 15 years. That was the pen and the coffee again, folks. Well, if you have any questions, if you are a past tutor and want to call in and just tell us where you are now, we would love to hear that, or a past student as well. So we love to hear all the stories and hear, where you are now and what you've accomplished. And we always think that's very exciting. So if you have any other questions or concerns, email us at marketing@getsmarterprep.com, or always just subscribe. And so you can hear all the wonderful podcasts.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Have a great week.
Thanks for joining us.
High school can be tough. We'll help you navigate some of the areas you need help with, including the college preparation process, by providing advice for families. Every student is different and has a unique path. That's why we created this podcast. Our innovative and intentional approach builds confidence in the individual student. Listen each week to find out how students can score better on college placement tests with techniques and methods that build confidence, beat test anxiety, and identify strengths within each student. You're listening to Simply Smarter with hosts Caleb and Jill. Check out our blog at getsmarterprep.com for more college prep related topics.